radio, glowing magic transistor radio, glowing magic transistor radio.
Hello YouTube and YouTubettes. Welcome to an album review. I have a very special formula I like to use to make grades, so you'll hear decimals and other weird things. I'm not going to give away my formula, but in this video I would like to review the Fleet Foxes self-titled album released on June 3rd, 2008. This was produced by Phil E.K. under the label Bella Union and Sub Pop. Studios included Avast Recording Company and London Bridge, and the members are Robin Pecknold, who is the main songwriter. He wrote all the songs and the lead vocalist. Skylar Skjelset, Nicholas Peterson, Casey Westcott, and Craig Curran. And the group is from Seattle, Washington. I don't remember where I discovered the Fleet Foxes, and it was probably browsing at a record store somewhere. And I really liked their sound, just very simple, but a lot of heartfelt arrangements and beautiful. The album cover is a detail of 1559 painting called Netherlandish Proverbs by Peter Bruegel the Elder. A great artwork for an album cover, and it's just beautiful. I give it a 10 out of 10. Now on to the songs.
Red squirrel in the morning, red squirrel in the evening.
The first song is called Sun It Rises. It has that kind of, there's an Eagles song it reminds me of with that a cappella section at the beginning and with that twangy vibe. I'm not a big fan of those vocals at the beginning of it. It's not bad, it just bugs me a little bit for some reason, but then once the music kicks in, I think it's really good. It seems like a typical folk song, then the organ kicks in really nicely, and it's got this haunting melody. This is overall a good song. The weak point would be the lyrical hook, but other than that, everything else is above an 8. Overall, I give this song an 8.6.
I was following the eye, was following the eye, was following the eye, was following the eye.
Track number 2 is called White Winter Hymnal, and this is a beautiful song, perhaps my favorite Fleet Foxes track. I think the a cappella is much better on this one than the first one, and it's a nice artistic piece. There's some more haunting melody lines. The lyrics are a little bit better than the first, and this is a great song. Overall, I give it a 9.2. Track 3 is called Ragged Wood, and this is a bit upbeat, a nice catchy song. And my favorite part is actually when, I guess it's the chorus, where the instruments kind of come back a little bit and it's almost a cappella, and it just kind of, it's a nice touch to this song. This is a very solid song. There's really no weakness to it, nothing lower than an 8. Overall, I give it an 8.8. Track number 4 is called Tiger Mountain Peasant Song, and this is a beautiful song. I love the way they play the guitar on this. A lot of times guitar can be played very straightforward and boring, but they're really creative with it. And I don't know if it's a duo. It sounds like a duo of guitarists, but there's a nice melody, very beautiful song. And overall, this one gets a 9.0. Track number 5 is called Quiet Houses. I'm not a big fan of the music arrangements on the A section. but the harmonies are so good, the arrangements of them, that it makes up for it. And then the B section, the music is much better, and the vocals continue to be at a high quality. So that's kind of my general thoughts of this song. And overall, it gets an 8.4. Track number 6 is called He Doesn't Know Why, and this has, once again, a very high quality harmony, and I think it's the catchiest song on the album. I gave it a 10 in catchiness, but the rest of the song holds up for the most part. 10 in production. Lyrical poetry is also a 10, but the lyrical hook would be the weak part of this album with only a 6. But a really good song. Overall, I give it an 8.8. Track number 7 is called Heard Them Stirring, and this is a very solid song musically. It's got vocals, but there's no words, so that's kind of a good change of pace. Just a very solid, haunting melody line. It's a little less catchy than, it's the least catchy song on the album, but still a solid 7. Does very well artistically and well produced. This is the only song, I think, without words, so yeah. And so that's a nice bit of a change of pace. But overall, I give this song an 8.7. Track number 8 is called Your Protector, and I really like how it starts out with wind instruments after the bulk of the album has been guitar led, and so that's a nice change of pace. And the rest of the song is fairly typical, I guess you could say. It doesn't stick out, but it's still very solid. A typical Fleet Foxes album, I should say. Still very solid. I like the way the organ comes in as well. But overall, this song gets an 8.2. Track number 9 is called Meadowlarks, and I love the way the guitar is played, very simply but beautifully, and this very haunting melody. It almost it's kind of a cross between medieval folk music and blues, and it works really, really well. The strength of this album is the lyrical poetry. There's nothing really weak on the song. The weakest thing is the lyrical hook with a 7, but everything else is very strong. And overall, I give it an 8.8. Track number 10 is called Blue Ridge Mountains, and I love the intro section to this. The harmonies are wonderful. Then it really picks up musically, and it has a nice piano part, which I don't remember if there was piano on any other songs. It wasn't prominent, so it's nice to have something different that's prominent here towards the end of it. The lyrical poetry is the strength with a 10. Everything else is an 8 or a 9. Just really strong across the board, and I give this one an 8.8. The final song is called Oliver James, and this one's a bit more stripped down than most of the songs on the album. It's mostly just a voice with the guitar and sometimes some rhythms on, just slapping the guitar. This is the only song that I did not give a 9 or a 10 on production. I only gave it a 7. It's very simple. It's nice. It doesn't quite stand up to a lot of the songs production-wise, but great lyrics once again. a little less on the catchiness and the artistic side, but overall, I give this song an 8.2. The album flow is a 10 out of 10, just a very solid, just it all fits well together, all very folky, but there's always little things that keeps it interesting throughout. So even though it's very similar style on every song, they do a lot of little things to keep it interesting. I really do love this album and this band. They have two other albums that I think are almost as good as this one. Just very solid, folky type music. I can hear a bit of the Eagles, as I mentioned before, and some Byrds, Crosby, Stills, and Nash type stuff, and some medieval folk kind of music. And he has a nice voice, and the arrangements are very good, and so a really good album. So now I will pull out my handy dandy computer and calculate my formula. And this album gets an 8.88. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
The sound of ancient voices ringing soft upon your ear. Oliver James washed in the rain, no longer. Oliver James washed in the rain, no